Hey, y'all. This is Miss Athena with Straight Talk. You have just tuned in to the Why Are You Still Single podcast. Hey, before we get started with this hot topic, I ask that you subscribe, share, and like on the Why Are You Still Single podcast. Let's get into this topic. I got my girl here, Phyllis, on the line. Hey, Phyllis, how you doing? We
I'm good. How
here
you
on the
doing?
Why Are You Still Single podcast. How you doing? I see you sipping on a little something over there.
That I am.
Yes, you are. So we have a really hot topic tonight. We're going to talk about why are black women so thirsty? You know, we have different levels of thirsty in this new generation. And I want to ask you a question. What is your definition of thirsty?
Desperate.
Desperate.
That's
That's one
just to
word.
sum it up.
That's
Desperate.
one word. That's a synonym. Sure, sure. But in in this culture, there are levels to being thirsty, and I'd be like, okay, so why don't a woman just say, "I want to be married" or "I just want to date"? But no, there's levels to this. What would you say is the first
Mm.
level to being thirsty?
I would say the first level to being thirsty is it starts from being lonely. Honestly, I think once if you're lonely, you're liable to do or be anything anybody wants you to be. In turn, being thirsty.
Okay. Well, that's definitely some help because when I was thinking about it, I was like, I want to ask my friend, like, why do women accept like the men being like my best friend? I mean, I have male friends, and I'm sure you have
Mhm.
male friends, but what do you think about like having a male friend as your best friend?
I think it can be a great thing. I have, cool guy friends. I wouldn't say that I have a male friend as a best friend, but I do think that it could be a great thing because he can offer you a different perspective, true advice. I think somebody that you will call your best friend will be honest with you, and he could be honest with you about maybe if you're seeming thirsty or give you things from a man's perspective.
Okay, so let's go back to your definition of women being thirsty. They're desperate, and then I mean, originally it comes from them being lonely. Now you
Hmm.
have this best friend, and you're lonely.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, isn't that like a little danger zone to the next stage of being thirsty, which is Netflix and chill? Why do women
Mm,
accept that Netflix and chill? Why do you think? Have you ever accepted a Netflix and chill relationship?
oh no,
Okay, okay,
not me personally.
okay,
No, I,
okay.
I I tend to be very straight up with what I want. I'm going to, is this what you're doing? Is this what you want? What are you trying to do with me? And if it's something that I'm trying to do with him, then we're good. And if they tell me one thing up front and then lead into another direction, it's just as easy to walk away. You know, we were
Right.
we were raised in an era where we were taught self-respect and we were taught standards. Yes, we go through some
Mhm.
things, and yes, we've all done some things we shouldn't have done. But again, we were raised different than what this generation now is doing.
I
I was having a
totally agree.
conversation. I was definitely having a conversation where with somebody, and they were talking about it was my son actually, and he was talking to some girl on the phone, and we were going to go eat, and the girl says, she said, "Who you're talking to?" He said, "Not that it's your business, but I'm talking to my mom." The girl said, "Well, tell your mom I said hi." My son said, "For what? You're not gonna never meet her."
Whoa.
During dinner, that same girl called my son and told my son, "Oh, I bought those shoes that you wanted."
Thirsty. Thirsty.
Thirsty. That
Thirsty.
shoes he could have
Okay.
bought for himself.
Thirsty.
Thirsty.
So why? I mean, I mean, you and I grew up together, so we know in our era we were raised a certain way about men. But when I think about levels about women being thirsty, it's like they accept the Netflix and chill. Okay. Oh,
Hmm.
it's not going to go to anything. We're just looking at a movie. He's my best friend. What do you, I mean, then there's another level. It's complicated. Have you ever been in a it's complicated relationship?
currently. No,
Okay.
I wouldn't even say it's complicated. It's very, very, very simple. We're just older and more comfortable in where we are. I have my place, he has his place. We go out, we have a good time. Sometimes we choose to stay in. We're in Vegas to get high. Sometimes we choose to stay in. But if he wants to do something, hey, let's go do this. Or if I want something, so we're comfortable. So I wouldn't say it's a Netflix and chill though. Have I ever been in Netflix and chill? Yeah, I did. With somebody that it was only specifically for what that Netflix and chill was going to end up being.
Okay, so you
I
went
did.
back on what you said. Okay, because you said no at first, but now you can
Yeah.
remember.
Once I thought
So
about it and thought about that person,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So okay, so you said you know your standards and everything like that, and you wouldn't accept it, but now you're in it. It's complicated situation. Describe that.
Well,
Is that a real
it's not really
relationship?
No, it's not really complicated. That was
Okay,
a misspoke because I had to
okay.
think about that. No,
Okay,
but
so let's move to the next. Let's move to the next level then. In thirstiness, first it's lonely. Then
mhm,
my guy friend is my best friend. Then it's Netflix and chill. Then it's complicated, and then
mhm.
this might be the one you're looking for, a situationship. Is that what you're in? A
Perfect,
situationship.
perfect.
Describe what a situation. Well, you did just describe what a situationship is,
Mhm.
but isn't that still kind of thirsty? It's not level. I mean, what's your take on it? Is that a thirsty move too?
No, I wouldn't
Why
think
not?
so.
Why not?
Only because we were up for we really literally sat down and negotiated a relationship. He pursued me for a while before I even agreed to see him, and then we met, and then we met again, and then I invited him over for a drink. And then I just asked him, "What are you trying to do with me? You've been after me and you've been on me for a year and a half, and I finally accepted a date. I finally, getting to know you, having actual, getting to know you. What are you trying
Hmm.
to do? You trying to date me? You trying to fuck me? What you trying to do?" And he just looked at me because he's a more mature man. He just said, "I'm trying to date you. I'm trying to be with you, and I'm trying to fuck you. Look at you. Why would I not?"
Right,
And that's
right.
exactly what it's been. That's
Okay.
exactly
And
what it's been.
so it
So
is.
at the time, I wasn't particularly looking for anything at all.
Mhm.
Honestly, I had come out of a relationship a year and a half prior, so I really wasn't looking for a relationship. I wasn't even looking for anybody to sleep with. It just he I just accepted a date from him and ended up liking him.
Okay.
But had he not came
So
along, I would have been perfectly fine.
that's I mean, no shade, but that's a thirsty move because to me that's like settling for a casual no direction or getting to a goal marriage or meeting the family or really building something. It's like, okay, it's okay for
You
now.
know,
We can hit it, quit it. You go to your corner, I go to my
I
corner.
wouldn't call it thirsty because it's what I want. If I were
Okay.
looking for marriage, if I were looking for something more than that, then that then we've discussed it. We've
Okay.
discussed it. We see each other exclusively. We know each other's families. I've been knowing him for a long time. So we know each other's family. We know each other's kids. We know all of that about each other.
Okay.
And
So it's okay to have a situationship, but not if it's a situationship, why not just call it a exclusive relationship? Are you seeing other people or is he seeing other people?
no, we literally only see each other.
Okay,
We
so
only
why?
see
I
each
mean, I
other.
don't know why this culture put the
I mean,
word situationship
because
instead of just saying, "Look, we belong to each other, and there's this exclusive," you know. So back to this is my last question. Um, we as mature women that know what we want, um,
Mhm,
and allow the man to chase and things of that nature, have to step it up so that the women that are behind us don't fall into these thirsty traps, as I had mentioned. What would you
mhm.
say as we leave this podcast of why? And if you just tuned in, you're listening to the Why Are You Still Single podcast. I got my girl here, friend from Sandbox, Phyllis here, and she's asking some really uh, tough questions. What would you say, Phyllis, to somebody that's listening right now about how to hold yourself or not be thirsty as a woman? Men
To
don't
never
like
let
that. It's not attractive.
to never let a man show you twice that he doesn't want you.
That's
To
simple.
never let a man show you twice. They'll show their true colors. And never let a man show you twice. I learned my lesson from my marriage. I got married at 19. I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. We had those kids and we ended up being married for 14 years, but he cheated. Moving forward, I have zero tolerance for that, for any amount of BS. I will walk away with my head held high and not look back. I can't do it and I won't do it. So never let a man show you twice that he doesn't want you.
Good advice. Never let a man show you twice that he does not want you. Thank you so much, Phyllis, for being here with us on the Why Are You Still Single podcast.
No
Remember
worries.
to subscribe and share and like and drop a comment down there. Your voice is valid. We out.
Okay.